In this episode about betrayal behaviors, we're going to be talking about being on constant alert. And if you haven't watched the introduction in this series about betrayal behaviors versus your self-belief, I invite you to do so. The link will be in the description. Now, being on constant alert is where you're sensitive to other people's behaviors or you're a bit jumpy. So we're going to take a look at how that's impacting your life, how it's impacting your self-belief, and what you can do to change it. Hi, I'm Rosanne Clay, helping you deliberately create a life you love. To help you understand what it means to be on constant alert, I'm going to use the analogy of spiders. And that's really appropriate for me because coming from New Zealand, we weren't scared of spiders, but coming here to Australia, we've become a bit more alert about the spiders around us. Now imagine there's a spider in your room and you're just about getting ready to go to bed and you see the spider, you think, okay, I'm going to walk away. You know what, I'm going to go get something so I can capture the spider and put it outside. Then you come back and the spider's gone and you can't find it and you don't know where it is, but you still need to hop into that bed because you're tired and you want to go to sleep. Now imagine that anxiety, that tension as you get into bed. And that's okay for a one-off where there's one time a spider is in your room. But imagine that's the feeling that you carry with you constantly. As you can imagine, this would be really exhausting and would deplete so much energy because in the background you have this readiness or this need to be alert. Now, in the majority of my clients where I've seen this behavior, it stemmed from an abusive parent, someone who was aggressive or violent, and the child needed to protect themselves, needed to behave in particular ways so that their parent would stay calm. Or they were stressing about their sibling and trying to protect their sibling. However, it can also be caused by a tumultuous environment where you step outside your door and you're in a very scary environment where you do need to be on constant alert. This younger child that's exposed to very toxic environments is constantly in a state of fight or flight. And as that child grows up, the programming becomes more instilled and the child becomes more aware of dangers even when there isn't any. Now, if a child is experiencing this state of constant alertness, as they grow up, it becomes more of a problem, it becomes more exhausting to manage, and their anxiety can increase. So think about your younger self and the kind of toxic environments that you might have been exposed to that would have caused a state of constant alertness. Now, as an adult, if we're carrying this constant state of alertness, carrying this programming to be in fight or flight mode all the time, it can manifest in some pretty nasty ways for your relationships. A comment from a coworker could mean that you feel really offended. A behavior from a family member could mean that you don't want to see them anymore. Things can become really black and white where there is right or wrong. And to others, what seems like a very slight or minor instance for you becomes very deep hurt. And due to the heightened state of the anxiety that you're feeling or to the deterioration of your relationships, you might become more withdrawn. Now what's happening is you're living in a world of fear where you don't feel safe. You don't feel like the world is a safe place for you to live. You don't feel like the people around you are safe to be around, like you're worried about the judgment that they have of you or the criticisms that they have of you. And all you're really doing is living out the same patterns from your childhood. Well, how does this relate to your sense of self-belief? Well, as within, so without. In other words, the thoughts that you have about the exterior world are the thoughts that you have about your internal world. So if your dialogue is telling you that the world is not safe, then your dialogue is also telling you that you are not safe. You are not safe to be around others, and you're not even safe within yourself. Now, I've talked about this before in my video about self-belief, and I'll leave a link in the description, but safety is one of the pillars of building self-belief. So if you're not feeling safe from within, it's really hard to trust yourself. So how do you foster a feeling of safety from within so that you build your sense of self-belief? One is to have compassion for yourself. When you notice yourself being on constant alert or when you notice yourself getting offended by someone, have compassion for yourself. Become aware of the thought and say, I recognize that I'm having this state of alertness and I'm getting sensitive to what someone's saying because there is a lack of safety from within. So right now, I choose to love myself. I choose to shower myself in the divine goodness of love. So here is where you call on the universe, knowing that there is infinite divine love for you available at all times, anytime. Call on that love and remind yourself that there is always love present. There is always love for you. And remind yourself that you are safe within. remind yourself that you're not actually in a scary place. There is no real physical threat. This is just your thought patterns playing out. Having that awareness where you're able to switch from a high alert state into a state of self-love and self-compassion allows you a circuit breaker. So it allows you to stop the pattern right there. And the more you practice that, the more you will free yourself from the thought patterns of not feeling safe. Another way to practice feeling safe is to literally practice feeling safe. Set time aside for yourself where you can listen to calming music and be in a comfortable, safe environment. Set time aside where you can go for a run in nature, a walk in nature, so that you feel calmed and soothed. Set time aside to meditate so you can practice the belief and thought patterns of feeling safe from within. And finally, the fastest and quickest way of healing your sense of safety so that you do feel safe from within and you can build your sense of self-belief is to heal your inner child, reprogram the subconscious mind using tools like energy psychology. I will be creating a tapping script for this feeling of being on constant alert, so please look out for that. In the meantime though, sending you so much love and light on your journey. Bye for now.